This is a show for grown-ups.
And they say bad words.
And they say bad words.
Say final warning.
Final warning.
Hello and welcome to the Pot of Blunders. I am your host, Nate Magnuski.
And I'm your co-host, Richard Sullivan.
And today, Richard, we are playing Starshine Scribbles. My girlfriend has turned into a car, and we are escaping the city. It's true. I know, your stunned silence says so much. Now, when I talked to Star, they said that this was based off of an old anime. I say old, 99, called The Adolescence of Utena. And they were kind enough to give me a link so I could watch some of this. And I know how much you love anime. I know it's part of your heart song. You can't get enough of it. So I want us to watch this little 14-minute segment that this game is based off of.
I gotta watch 14 minutes?
14 entire minutes, yes.
Oh.
And then we're going to come back to the recording, and you can give your impressions.
The things I do for this show.
A few moments later.
I mean, would it help if I saw the hour before this?
No, not at all. All right, so we're back in the recording now.
That was one of the worst things I've ever seen.
Really?
Yeah.
You've seen One Guy, One Glass.
Oh, yeah. ISIS beheading videos would be more entertaining than that.
Wow. But, and this is not a challenge for like an itch jam, I don't think you could do a role-playing game based on an ISIS beheading video. Please do not take this as a challenge. Please. So, Star, of course, in their infinite wisdom, saw this and said, you know what? A game has to be made. And that's what we're going to play tonight, bud. Aren't you excited?
We got a big old chub over it.
Richard's been up since about 3 in the morning. He's worked a full day. And now I just made him watch 20 minutes of an anime.
Let's play the game.
So one of us has to be the driver, and one of us has to be the girlfriend that turns into a car. What would you like to be?
I would like to ride you, I think.
Well, we all know that. So I'll be the car then.
Sure.
And so how this will work is there's also 2 roles. One's the speaker and one's the listener. The speaker is describing what's happening, describing all the action that they are doing in the event. So like, I'm driving down the road and, I see that there's a split in the road, left and right. And if I'm the listener, I can interject at any point and add a detail. All right? And then you describe how you overcome that detail. And then we go on like that. Every time the listener adds a detail into the story, they had to put down one of these cards. So I have some randomized cards here. The speaker has to guess what card I put down.
Okay.
If they get it right, they describe how they overcame the obstacle. If they get it wrong, then they have to... This is going to get worse for you before it gets better, my friend. I'm so sorry. Then I have to describe how they fucked up, but the game continues.
Okay.
All right? Now, this game calls for Zener cards. If you don't know the name of these cards, you know what they look like. They're the ones that have like the square or the plus sign or the star, and they're designed to test...
Oh, the Peter Venkman cards.
Yeah, they were in Ghostbusters. They're designed to test psychic ability. So today at work, I brought cardstock in. I was going to print things at work and use company resources, but my boss made me do work at work today. So I didn't have a chance to get Zener cards. But luckily for us, I had 5 cards in my car that I could use.
You just carry around Zener cards at all times?
No, these are not Zener cards. These are Pokemon cards. So what I have here is an Onyx, a Goldeen, a Sandshrew, a Dubwool, and a Gumshoes. I'm making this as painful as possible because...
If there's one thing I don't like more than anime, it's Pokemans.
Yes, I know that. And so I figured, you know what? Why don't we get all this most despised stuff out of the way for Richard in one night? You're welcome, buddy. We're going to nip it in the bud and we're going to do this. Are you ready to start playing this?
Oh, boy, am I.
So, tell me about your character, Richard. Who is this girl?
Well, I've got to be hot.
Yeah, nice.
I want a blue hair.
Yeah, that's anime protagonist all the
Okay.
way. Giant eyes, I'm assuming.
Yeah, 2 of them.
Good. That's
Yeah.
that's above average.
No lips.
Mm-hmm.
Some type of schoolgirl outfit, I'm sure.
Yep. He hates this so bad. This is when I wish we were recording your fucking expressions on, because you're so done with this.
I mean that's yeah. I'm a Sailor Moon with blue hair and big boobs.
Sweet. I am a Ford Ranger.
So do you start off as a car?
Yep. Okay, fine. I'll paint the picture for us. Borrowing heavily from the thing we just watched. We are on a floating square in a field of poppies.
Oh, like in Wizard of Oz, and we all go to sleep.
Yeah. Maybe it's been a dream the whole time.
This is a nightmare.
And I am also a very hot schoolgirl. I have regular sized boobs, and I have like it looks kind of like a power suit on, and you can might interpret that as an '80s power suit or like a mech suit.
Yeah, I assume like an '80s power suit.
Whichever it is, that's what it is. My hair, of course, is bright orange. I have giant purple eyes, and there's a constant wind blowing my hair. Just constantly, no matter what direction I'm looking, the wind's always blowing it away from my face, and the background's like a shifting sunset with little sparkles, no matter what happens. Now, why are we stuck in this place? Why are we stuck in this city? And we don't know the background of the movie because we haven't watched all of it.
Pollution?
Yeah,
You know, like
yeah, pollution.
like maybe our lungs can't breathe regular air anymore because we've been so used to the pollution.
Okay.
And if we leave the city that's rank with pollution, our lungs won't be able to breathe the clean air.
But I think at this point we know that we're destined never to be together, right?
Why?
Our families would never stand for it because we're promised to others, two twin princes. All right,
Is that what happens in this?
I don't fucking know. Sounds like pretty anime-ish, right?
Okay.
So we don't care that we're gonna die out of the city, but we're gonna do it on our own goddamn terms. Get inside of me, because I'm a Ford Ranger. I'm a lime green Ford Ranger with a cap cover. One of those things. Is that what they're called? I think that's what they're called.
I used to have a Ranger.
Yeah, sweet. Well, then you'll be intimately familiar with the inside of me. We're gonna die outside the city. We know that, but goddammit, we're doing it because that's the only way we will truly be free.
Okay.
So right now, a giant one of those truck carriers that carry trucks or carry cars rather,
Like an Ultra Magnus.
like an Ultra Magnus. Yeah, it pops out of the poppy garden, and I run in the back of it. Right.
Yeah.
And all this metal starts flying everywhere, and it's hitting me, and I'm getting destroyed. And then suddenly I stand up, and I'm like, "Arr!" And I turn into the aforementioned lime green Ford Ranger. And just then, the klaxons start firing. Wee, 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 red lights, yellow lights. And a highway opens up in front of us. They're onto us. They know our plan. Because I've just turned into a car.
And I need to get inside you and accelerate quickly.
Yes, but hold on. My body is rusting like in the movie we just saw.
Oh, well, I want to say that I need a key to stop you from rusting.
Yeah, we know that because we saw the giant Jumbotron that showed up for no reason.
Okay.
Which is also in the movie. Please watch this movie. I swear to God, this kind of makes sense. Well, no, it does not make any sense.
Where did she get the key? So,
All right, you've seen a movie before, right?
yeah.
You get into a strange car. You don't know where the key is.
Oh, it's in the visor.
It's in the visor. Yeah, of course. All right. So you flip the visor down. The key drops out. What's the key look like, Richard?
Like a car key.
All right.
No.
Yeah, I mean, probably, yeah.
No, you know what? It's gotta look like a gold dick. It has to.
It's a little on the nose, but all right. I mean, the
keyhole looked just like a vagina.
The ignition and yeah, that
in the
movie.
thing
It
we
looked
just
like
watched.
a
So,
big old gold vagina.
In the spirit of it, it has to be phallic,
All right.
and it goes inside you and turns you on.
My keyhole looks like an uncircumcised penis. So you got to kind of like balloon up the skin around the key, like you're space docking.
Oh, a kissing in the dark.
Exactly like that.
All right.
I don't even know if we can put that in this.
Oh, I'm putting it.
But it's going in now.
It's going in your keyhole.
Yeah. Vroom! I am on.
Okay, I have turned you on, and I've started your ignition too, and I'm driving you.
I think there's like a pillar of lights now that goes do, 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 do. You gun it. My wheels start turning. I'm burning up rubber. I'm tossing poppies out the back of me like no one's business. And vroom, we're going down the street. Now what's going to happen at this point, you're going to be the talker, and I'm going to be the listener. You're going to describe the scene, like what happens. And I'm going to start putting these cards down. And you're going to want to probably write down what these cards are so you know what the fuck. Because you're not going to remember gumshoes, dub wool, sandshrew, goldine, and onyx.
I might.
You will not. Here's a pen.
Dubstep.
Dub wool,
Dub wool.
gumshoes,
I get those mixed up. Dumb wool.
dub wool,
Dub wool. Gumshoes.
sandshrew, goldine.
Hold on.
Jesus.
So Dumble,
Dub
gumshoes, sandshrew, golden,
Goldine.
goldine. Yep.
And onyx.
Oh, okay. I know what that is.
But it's spelled with an I.
Oh.
That's how they get you. So yeah, good thing I had these. It was either these cards or I had like, I think a Dennis Rodman card and like an insurance card. Thank God I had some of these poker mans for my son. All right, so go ahead, start laying down some descriptions. So, you're just describing driving on the road. I'm going to interject every now and then and place one of these amazing cards.
It's nighttime,
Hmm.
and ravenous deer are jumping across the highway.
Oh, that's very dangerous.
It's very dangerous. And when your headlights hit them, they totally freeze. And we're just plowing through deer carcasses trying to get through the other side.
I think as we're doing that, I'm going to interject right away. A giant moose steps out of the herd, and we have to deal with that somehow. So you tell me how you're going to deal with that giant moose.
The only way around is through.
Okay.
So I am going to flip one of your switches,
Yep.
and you're going to form a cow catcher in the front bumper of your bumper.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And we're going to scoop this moose up through the air.
And when you flip that switch, I go, ah, and a little oil comes out.
Yeah.
All right, cool. What happens next? Keep going.
I don't have to guess what that
Nope.
card is? Okay.
We do all 5 of these cards, and then we
What,
get to...
so did that work or no?
We'll find out. It
Okay.
worked in your story, but I might have to correct it if it didn't work.
All right. Well, it works in my story.
Yes.
From there, there's a helicopter above us,
Okay.
and it's dropping pianos
Oh, yeah.
down on us.
Uh-huh.
And keys are flying everywhere.
I think it happens like with the music in the background, like in sync with it, like on the downbeat, the piano falls and you hear like, ding,
Yeah.
That's kind of
Musical notes fly out.
Yeah.
But it's in the... Yeah. So that's happening.
I think as the pianos fall, they start turning into things. Like the parts assemble and form a giant piano car. Like they have the little casters on the bottom, like a grand piano. Those little wheels are like big, like monster truck wheels now, and the thing's flying at us. And it's playing this crazy, like classical, like crazy shit. So now, how do you deal with this piano car
Man.
that's chasing us?
How would I deal with a piano car?
That's what we all must ask ourselves at least one point in our lives.
I'm going to hit a pedal on the other side of you, and it's going to release brake fluid and oil to make a slick behind us.
We're gonna need that brake fluid.
Well, I've used it. It's too late.
All right, so now we're low on brake fluid. The piano spins out and crashes, and it's a massive explosion lights up the sky.
Now the road in front of us is beginning to melt
Oh no!
and turn into lava.
From the heat, from the exploding piano.
Yeah, it's so hot. It's
Yeah.
melting the asphalt.
Absolutely. As it's melting, my tires start to melt, and we're slowing down, and the horde of car things that look like the deer you mentioned earlier are gaining on us now.
Easy.
Another switch.
another button, and now you turn into a rocket car, and we fly above the lava,
All right.
allowing all the other creatures to sink in and melt to death.
You've solved my lava mystery.
Yes.
What happens next?
Well, now that we're in the air, now we have to deal with F-22 Raptors.
Oh no.
There's at least 3 of them, Top Gun style.
One of them is Starscream. Mouse stupid. He's not Starscream. That's dumb, Richard.
He's Thundercracker.
Yeah. Makes no more sense. He launches some Sidewinder missiles at us. All right? And they come in screaming at us. And, you know, I don't think I can dodge this. I was meant to be a Ford fucking Ranger, not a car, rocket, ship, plane. What happens? How do you dodge his heat-seeking Sidewinder missiles? If you hit another fucking switch, I'm gonna kick you in the dick.
No, I won't have to hit a switch because I'm going to go where there is no heat, that they can't find us. Space. I'm going to take your steering wheel, which has now become like a yoke of a plane.
Is that what they call it?
A yoke.
Is that? Wow. All right. I learned something today.
Yeah, and you yawn and pitch.
Yep.
Anyway, I'm going to grab your yoke.
Yeah, you are.
And I'm going to pull it up, and we're going to fly towards space. And then as the missiles are chasing us, once we hit out the atmosphere and everything goes black, you just see the rockets fall back from whence they came.
Like an Iron Man 1.
Exactly like Iron Man 1.
Yeah. Nice. Unfortunately, I also get Iron Man 1, and I start falling back to Earth. If you fucking hit a switch or step on a pedal.
How else am I supposed to get the parachute to come out?
Maybe you have to crawl outside the plane and like pull the cord or something.
You don't have a parachute button?
Nope. I'm a Ford Ranger. Ford Rangers aren't meant to have parachutes.
Or rockets? Or cow catchers?
Look, we can also suspend our disbelief to a certain level. When you say it has a parachute, that's where I start getting a little weird.
Alright, you know what? For a change, I'm going to save your life. I'll climb out the window.
Uh-huh.
I'll grab a hold of your spoiler. I'm sure you probably have one.
Oh, I got 3 of them. 3 of them? 3 of them. They don't cost me nothing.
You're spoiler free. And then I will grab hold and I will strap on my parachute and I'm going to hold you real tight in a loving embrace from behind, and I'm going to pull my cord and we're going to float down together.
I love it. So I think at the apex of our height, right before we fall, we see outside the pollution. Like, we're in space. But this is like wicked polluted, so even space is polluted here. But we can see like on the horizon the end area of it. Okay, so let's see if what you said happened. What was the first card I put down, Richard?
It was a Goldine.
Ooh, it was a Dubwool.
Oh.
So you said that we just drove through the moose. We tried to drive through the moose, but as soon as we got close enough, it pulled up its legs and just fell on us and it flipped me into the air. And there was like wheels and shit falling off, big pieces of my cap cover. Gone. It hit the ground. We're still going though, but I've taken some damage. What's the next card I put down? About the piano creature thing.
Well, it's got to be a gumshoes.
It is a gumshoe!
Yes!
Richard's psychic abilities coming through very strong. The thing you said happened. Alright, now we got into the lava mix up a little bit, started melting. What happened then?
Lava turns things to ash. Ash is black. Another word for black is onyx. So I'm going to say it's an onyx.
Ooh, a tough break for this young competitor. It's a Goldine.
Oh no.
So I did turn into a rocket. But I think what projected me into the sky was that my fuel line caught fire. And the explosion...
The rocket, you got turned into a rocket to outfly the F-22 Raptor missiles.
No, we got turned into rockets. My wheels melted off from the lava.
No, you turned into a regular plane.
Yes, okay. I turned into an aerial plane. You know, one of them city folk flying machines that I said no good would come of. But the explosion is what really thrusted me up way higher than we meant to go into space. That's what happened. And then the airplane showed up to shoot us down, the Raptors.
Onyx! Onyx!
It is an Alex! Yeah! So you did go into space to get past the Sidewinder missiles, who fell back to Iron Man Earth. Something like that. And then I myself got Iron Man, despite your parachute attempt.
No, because the
parachute
did happen.
So what's the last one?
Well, it's got a sand shrew.
It is a sand shrew. Richard, you got 3 out of 5 correct. That's amazing. You get the shinning, boy.
You mean The Shining?
Shh. Do you want to get sued?
Just saying, I think I have psychic abilities, if one thing I've learned. We should, go to the police station, look through all their cold case files, and convince the family that we can solve their case.
And then because they want to have resolution and they're so hopeful, we can bilk them for a lot of money.
Right.
But when it comes time to solve the crime, we'll go to Ecuador, where there's a non-extradition policy, and we'll live like kings on a fishing boat. Just the 2 of us, faking our deaths, leaving our families behind to deal with our loss.
Is being a psychic a crime?
I think when you're this sexy, it's a crime. It's got to be something against God's laws. So that was the first round.
Okay. Are we winning?
Yes. That's like whenever I went to my mom when I first started playing D&D and told her the stuff. It's like, oh, did you win? And I'm like, yes. I mean, we had fun. And I think the real winning is the friends make along the way. What if the real winning in this game is the girlfriends we car along the way?
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Coming to the World Wide Web, it's the internet's premier podcast that gives you the 411 on the 1990s favorite television teens with Tood.
The Ninja Turtles?
As if...
The Power Rangers?
Talk to the hand!
My bad. You must mean the...
No duh, they're all that in a bag of chips.
That's PHAT fat. How do I scope that?
Just head on over to our Patreon, and starting at $1, you'll get 2 gnarly episodes of Jumping the Street Sharks a month, plus a bunch of other tubular shiznit.
Actually, that sounds lame. I think I'll keep my cheddar to myself. Not!
So if you want to support us, head to the Patreon link in the show notes. We appreciate you, and can't wait to share more jawsome content with you soon.
Okay. What's next?
Next is you take over the cards.
Okay.
And you're going to want to write down what the hell we did for each one. And I'm going to tell you the story, and you're going to interject with different shit. Okay, so I'm a badly damaged rocket falling to Earth.
With me holding you in my arms as we parachute.
I think I flicker briefly. I turn back into a young, wicked hot anime protagonist girl.
Yeah.
Right? And I think as we're falling, we're looking at into each other's eyes, and there's a lot of sparkling from the stars. The pollution has turned to sunset. I guess we're in space and it's like night, so there's no sunset. But you see the planets and shit behind us, and their light is making everything sparkle really beautiful like.
Can we breathe in space?
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah, it's pretty... I mean, you can interject at any point and be like, we can't fucking breathe.
Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, I'm telling the story now. You're the interjector.
Yeah, I'm interjecting that we can't breathe in space.
Okay.
Newsflash.
Okay, so then write that down for yourself.
No air in space.
You start making a choking thing, like...
Yeah.
But lucky for you, before we started falling, I had a big, deep breath. And so my lungs are full of air. So we fucking, like, mack it. I breathe air into your lungs.
But then I breathe that back into yours, and we just go back and forth forever.
You are so turning me on right now. I think we break through the cloud cover, and there's a big flash of light. No one knows what the fuck's happening. On screen, like, the viewers aren't, you know?
And that flash of light...
Yep.
...is lightning that has struck my parachute.
Oh, no.
And now I have a big hole in my parachute, and it's on fire, and we've been electrocuted. And now we're falling really fast to Earth.
The flaming parachute, full of electricity, wraps us up, right? We're completely engulfed in this like a cocoon. And much like a beautiful butterfly emerging from a cocoon, I come out of it, that's right, a big blimp. A sexy blimp. Kind of looks like a boob.
So it's like a big pink blimp.
Yeah, with like a brownish, pinkish tip on one end.
Yeah, but that's where the light is, and it's flashing.
Yeah, exactly. And you're inside. You're inside like the little cockpitty area in the bottom part, you know, like the Goodyear blimp has. and they fly over all them sporting events. Does it bother you like it bothers me when they go over a dome stadium in the Goodyear blimp and I'm like, why are you there? What are you showing? There's traffic? Fuck off. Anyway, that's not important to the story.
But what is important to the story is that we find out that your blimp is actually filled with hydrogen and you erupt into flames.
Oh no, the humanity! Alright, you've seen Captain Phillips.
Yes.
I turn into that thing that he's in, that he drops into the water, where it's safe for people to be inside, you can drop really far. You know what I'm talking about, one of them escape vehicle type things?
No, I haven't seen Captain Phillips.
Well, then fuck off.
I just lied to
Then
you
what
and said
I'm
that I
gonna
did. I
do-
want it to be cool.
I'm a penis-shaped submarine now. It's all very body part centric now, right?
Okay.
And you're inside, and I'm gonna fall down under the water. Because that's the only way we're gonna escape all this fire. So I dive into the water. It's dark as hell. But what lights up everything is my love for you. And so the entirety of the outside of it is all like neon sparkles and stuff. And we're going through this crazy octopus garden, like coral reef. Everything's vibrant neon. It's like 80s synthwave style. And we're just going through. And that's how we're going to escape the city underwater now.
Ooh.
Yeah. And we're going through the dark water still because you haven't picked a card to put down yet to interject. So I'm going through the water. It's pretty great and very wet. Uh-huh.
But just then, we hear the sweet sound of the siren song. And it's like 100 very sexy,
Bourbon.
naked mermaids.
Oh.
And they're all sexy.
Yep, you mentioned that before.
2 of them are kissing.
Ooh.
One's bent over.
Hey.
And we're so turned on by the mermaids that we've totally lost track of what our mission even is. And we've just been engulfed in the siren song.
We're drifting off course now.
Yeah.
But earlier in the movie, I had saved a baby seal from a bunch of seal hunters. And it comes back now, full grown, to repay their favor. And it murders all those sexy merwomen. It helps get us back on track.
So you've just committed murder.
Yes. So now it's my turn. I'm. Look at me. I'm Captain now. And if you saw Captain Phillips, you'd understand that reference. But you already admitted you haven't, so don't bother.
Everyone knows that part.
So I breach the water. I splash out. And I turn into a speedboat. This whole thing, I kind of thought I wanted to be like a Miami Vice speedboat. That's very 80s to me, you know?
Yeah.
And we're flying down. We're going across the top of the water. And the speedboat, of course, is neon green.
Yeah.
Like my Ford Ranger style. You think of my hair color like with Utena? It's not. I'm not derivative. I'm doing my own thing. Right?
Right, 'cause you have orange hair?
Right.
Yeah.
But just then, my father shows up. And he doesn't approve of what we're doing. And with him are the 2 princes.
And the 2 princes are all like, hey, stop what you're doing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You're betrothed to us.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I can see why they'd be mad, yeah.
And we don't approve of your sinful lifestyle.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you know what happens? I blow them up. I just fucking blow them up. I do like a cool, like, the equivalent of like an e-brake slide, but in water. And I'm facing backwards now. You know what happens? Sides open up, and I open fire. Brrrr, and I'm just laying waste to these 2 chumps. But I'm not shooting my father yet, because I can't bring myself to do that. Yet. And that's where we're going to stop now, because we have all these cards to put down. So.
When it comes to no air in space, our cards revealed that it's
Sandshrew.
not the Sandshrew.
No, so what happens here instead?
It's an onyx. Well, what we made out,
Maybe I puke in your mouth, though, when we're making out.
and I'm even more turned on.
Yeah, now it's like a weird, like, Pink Flamingo shit.
Yeah. In the case of the lightning.
Gumshoes.
Oh, I'm sorry, it's double.
Oh, alright, I'm gonna go 3 for 3 on these next ones so I can tie your psychic ability. So what happens instead?
So instead of you turning into a submarine,
Yeah.
you try to turn into a submarine, and all your effort goes into it, but the only thing you can muster up is you turn into a giant anchor.
Okay, I'm still underwater then.
But we fall really hard and not graceful at all.
You know who fell hard?
Me for you.
Mm.
What's the next card?
Goldine!
Oh, it's a Goldie!
Hey!
So you turned into a blimp. There's a blimp next.
Because I was getting... Oh, no, so I wasn't a submarine yet. I was a blimp.
Or a blimp.
Right. Okay, so I didn't turn into a blimp. I turned into an anchor. And then... Alright, so I turned into an anchor. Still, that happened. And then I was underwater. I managed to turn into a submarine at that point. And then we saw the mermaids, which is the fourth thing. And this is where my seal friend came and murked all the mermaids. This is a sand shrew. Oh, it's a gumshoes! No, I had a 50-50 shot at it.
No, so instead...
My seal friend did not murk all those mermaids.
No.
Merwomen, I'm sorry, they were women.
We're persons.
Alright, yeah, I'm into that.
Yeah.
That's fine. I mean, just because I'm a lesbian now doesn't mean I can't.
Be a fish person.
Maybe I'm not into any genders, just fish people.
Instead, they just pick the seal's bones dry like a bunch of piranhas.
Oh, God. So how do we escape them?
There's only one way. They're looking for pleasure. We pleasure all of the merwomen to the point where they're so exhausted.
More people.
More people. They're so exhausted, they couldn't possibly pursue us. And then when they're all asleep, we sneak out.
So like I like that because we fall into their stuff and they're like, aha, we finally got victims. But it turns out like they're not ready for this jelly.
Sexy. Yeah, no.
Yeah, we have far too high of a libido for these deviants to handle, and we wear them out.
We're teaching them new tricks.
They're like, how do you put your leg that far back? And I'm like, you don't even want to know. I got ribs moved for this shit. I'm ready, willing, and able. Anyway, the last one's gonna be a sand shrew. It has to be.
It's a Charizard.
Oh God, is it a first edition? It's a sand shrew. So what happens at the end there? I killed those twin suitors.
And your father. No, you didn't.
I didn't kill the father. I couldn't bring myself to do it.
I think he might come back later.
I hope so.
Just thinking.
All right, so now we're going to switch back. Richard, you are the talker, and I am the
interjector,
pen holder. How long has this been going on, this game?
2
hours?
No, too long.
So I think if this is the last round,
yeah,
I think we're good.
Yeah. Could we be, though?
Please, though. You're having fun.
I'm having fun.
You don't want to have any fun, and you're having fun despite yourself. And that's fine by me. So you're the talker, Taco.
Okay. So we've blown up the princes, but your father is like, ha, I'll be back.
He's Skeletor. Did you mention that?
Yeah. Your father's a Skeletor person, and he says, I'll be back for you, and I still don't approve of your lifestyle now that you're a car.
I'm going to interject.
I didn't raise no car. That's what he says to me.
Raise no car. Well, technically, I'm a truck.
You're supposed to be a proper woman, not a motor vehicle.
All right, and that's what pisses me off. I don't want him to come back in the end. I launch a missile at him. It takes like all the remaining fuel that I have, so I don't have any fuel in my tank anymore. But it goes and it blows him up, and it's like one of those explosion montages where there's a bunch of little quick shots, like other thing like exploding over and over again really fast.
Yeah, from different angles.
And it goes on for like 6 minutes. And in the flames, there's like all kinds of weird shit, like images of my childhood when he's like teaching me how to ride a bike, and that's in the flames, and like.
Oh, but that would make you sad, wouldn't it?
Yeah, well, I'm having a very I just murdered my father with missiles from a boat. I'm having a bit of a time for myself.
Why did you do that?
Because he talked shit and he got hit. He fucked around and he found out. So that's why, Richard. And then you see like us at my mom's funeral, and he's comforting me, and then like he starts crying, I comfort him, and then it's like the first the falling out part where he's like, "Oh, you like that girl who's a girl and not all a part of a car thing that she turns into? I will forbid it." And I'm like, "You don't know me, Dad." So not only does he hate the fact that we're lesbians, he does not want a daughter that transforms into multiple kinds of vehicles. Not into it. Doesn't approve of any of it. But I see all this in the explosion. That's my main point. And I know I'm talking a lot for just the one card, but it's pretty important to the plot of the story. Go on, Richard.
It is, because what happens next is... But it turns out, though, that wasn't your father. It was your father's equally evil twin, Fernando.
Fernando!
And your father's really alive.
Oh.
And he's plotting his revenge as we speak.
So like we have like what? Like paint me a picture with this. Like, it's a
Okay.
movie. Like, okay.
So
is he like-
as Fernando explodes and we think, oh no, it's the father, we zoom out and he's sitting like Dr. Claw in his lair watching it from a monitor.
I thought a crystal orb, but a monitor's cool too.
No, a monitor.
That's more telling with because we're a techno thing, not a magic thing.
He says, you thought you could get rid of me that easy, but unlucky for you, I have 7 evil brothers that will visit you.
This is only gonna go on for one episode.
But like 3 at a time.
What day is it, sir? The ghost got it all done in one night. I have 18 evil brothers. Good thing they travel in packs of 9. Like, what the fuck? Okay, I interject. It turns out he grossly overestimated the number of brothers because they grew up in a hall of mirrors, like a funhouse. There's really only the 2 twins. That's why they had
2 twins, so there's 4.
No. One set of twins. There's 2 individuals that comprise a set of twins. And that's why... Okay. That's gonna get weird, but it's an anime, and I feel like it's fitting with the rest of the shit we've been doing so far, right? Okay. The twins that I murdered were clones of his twin brothers.
They were
clones of my uncles.
Whoa. So your uncle wanted you to marry...
him. But he couldn't because he was old and gross, as uncles are. And so he cloned himself with my father's permission to make quote-unquote ideal suitors for myself and my girlfriend.
Okay.
Out of character, you have 3 cards to wrap this story up, and we have to escape at the end.
Okay.
Okay.
We find out, though, because they've been cloned, they're missing... Like, they just took a DNA away from them. Just... Right?
Yep, happens all the time.
Yeah.
That's the
So
science.
now they got their DNA altered from the cloning. They become unstable. They have unstable DNA because of the cloning, and they just kind of melt away.
Yeah, that happens. They melt away.
They degrade. So
I didn't
they're
blow
out of
them
the
up.
picture.
You melted
No,
them.
you blew up the clones.
Oh, okay.
But the real brothers, because they had been cloned, they had something taken out of their DNA.
Oh, I see what you mean. So like they had like ATCG stuff, and the G was gone, and they fucking just died.
Can't live without the G.
You need the G.
But not as much as you.
Need the D.
I don't even know where I was going with that.
I don't know either, but we went there at the same time, which is gross. Alright, so what happens next, Tellerman? I have 3 cards. Bring us home, Daddy.
Okay. Oh, you gotta escape the city, right?
We do have to escape the city. I think that's pretty much the point of this exercise.
Alright, so we've gone under the city in the water.
We're in the water now.
No.
Oh, we're on top of the water now.
Because we blew them up on our submarine.
Well, no, we blew up on a speedboat. I'm still speedboat form now.
Okay, that's important.
Yeah, so I just blew up my cloned uncles. And then we had a cutaway where my uncles just melted into stuff.
Alright, so your father's going to be the final boss.
Yes, that makes sense to me.
So, what's one mode of transportation we haven't used
Train.
yet? Fine.
We haven't done train. We haven't done catamaran.
Fine.
Or pirate ship.
So, I honk your horn.
Yeah, you do. And that's why we're married.
And train tracks fall from the sky
Uh-huh.
and form a clear path to the exit of the city.
Yeah, like a causeway. Like it forms, like pulls the ground up out of the water, makes the train tracks, and we see the exit through the pollution, through the haze. We see like a bright light, and we know that that's both our destiny and our doom. You know.
And I will meet both with you.
Exactly.
So we hold hands like Thelma and Louise.
Yep.
And I fill your engine full of coal, and we choo 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 to freedom.
All right. So I was out of gas. We've established that before.
Right.
But you made like love coal or something, and like the fuel of your love propelled me on the tracks.
I have love coal.
Towards the end, we see my father, half train, half man, like a trained centaur, coming the other way. Like there's like a Y-shaped track, and we're in the middle. I'm gonna choose left or right. Left goes towards the exit. Right goes towards my father coming down the track, and he flips the switch, and now we're going towards my father, head-on collision. If we can't do what he tells us, he's gonna kill us all and himself through crazy train-on-train action.
But your father's a train now?
Train centaur, I established that, yes.
Okay, yeah.
Like a train for legs. The train is the horse part. And then the man part's coming out of the smokestack. Train tor.
Yeah.
Cent train. However you want to have it. Hey, we're gonna smash my dad if you don't act quick. What happens? What happens?
I am going to paint a tunnel on the front of you.
Hold on. I dropped that out of shock. Wait, you're gonna like Wile E. Coyote this shit?
Yeah. And he's going to be so confused that he's going to go right through you.
Okay, alright, I'm into that.
And then he goes through you and then crashes into a real wall.
Interjection. I'm interjecting.
Okay.
He goes through, right? And as our trains are passing through each other, there's a moment in the middle where there's like this weird interstitial space. Where like we're standing in front of each other. And like, you know when you're driving through a tunnel and the lights are flashing? Like overhead and it's like, light dark, light dark, light dark. You know, over and over again? It's like that. And we're having this earnest heart-to-heart conversation where I'm trying to explain to him, like, you can't control who you love. You know, when you married Mom, she was from a peasant class, and you were the ruling family, and no one said that you should get married. And this is no different. I love your character name inserted here, which you've never established, but it's probably something cool sounding. How come you got to defy societal convention to be with your love, but you're stopping me from that? And he says, because my life was hard, and I wanted you to have an easier life, and I provided everything for you. And I said, you didn't provide one thing, Dad. Understanding. And I stab!
I can't... I thought you guys were having this nice moment.
Nope, I stabbed.
And he's going to be like, I love you and respect you. And then he sacrifices himself. But no, you got to go ahead and stab him.
Stab the guy.
All right.
I stabbed him. So what do you do when I stab the guy? I stabbed my dad. One card left. We're at the exit now.
Well, no, we switched.
How are we going to get to the exit now?
That's what I'm about to tell you.
I hope you do.
If you'd shut up.
I hope you fucking do.
Okay. So, obviously, we're not heading toward the exit because your dad flipped the switch on. Literally flipped the switch. I think that's what that means.
We're going back to the city now.
No, we're still going forward, but we're not toward the exit. Like, we're to the left of the exit. So, instead of, like, an exit that says exit 4, it's like an amber dome.
Okay.
And we can't get back on track in time. So we're just going to have to smash through the dome. And in doing so, it cracks. And instead of us leaving the city, the entire dome that we've been under the whole time shatters. And we free everybody in the city. And release all the trapped up pollution into space. Happily ever after. We've also saved the world.
So I had the same thought, but now I can't do that because that's what you said. So I'm playing my final card. What happens is we go to smash through the dome, right? And we realize it's an illusion. It was put there because he wanted to scare us off. We're actually on the right track to exit the city. You know, he wanted to switch back to the other track. The other track was a falsehood. This is the real track. We burst through a gate out into the open, verdant pastures, beautiful flowers, actual poppies. The other things we saw, what we thought were poppies, were like these little robotic poppies. These are real ones, and we can't imagine like all this life and fecundity and growth here. And we go to smell the flowers, the beautiful scent, but the pure air and the scent is poison to us. In our last moments before we die, as our lungs fill with this poison of this pure air, we know that we made it, and it was because of the love we had for each other. And then it shows like years later, the inhabitants from the city follow our path, and they've managed to escape slowly, and they've acclimated to it. And around our skeletons, which were out in this poppy field, right, which are like held together, they're cuddling each other, our skeletons. There's like a monument built to our love.
A tree.
Oh, it grew in the middle of us, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Like a love tree.
A love tree, and that's what the new city is built around.
Love
tree. All right, let's see what happened. I'm writing down love tree. So the first thing was I wrote down explosions, sadness. I wish I hadn't written that down because I don't know what that's referring to. What do you think it was? What card did I put down?
This guy here, I bet you that's going to be a Gumshoes.
It's an Onyx. So what happened instead was shit got blowed up real bad.
Don't I get to say it because...
Yeah, sure. No, I'm supposed to tell you how it happened.
Yeah, but you told me how it happened in the first place.
You probably fucked it up somewhere along the line.
Sure.
Starshine's going to be mad at us, and it's going to be your fault.
Well,
Anyway.
that's what they get for making us play this.
We love you. What happens is I blow up my dad, and I'm expecting this to happen. I'm expecting, like, some kind of closure. But it's just an infinite milky blackness that envelops us all at the end. And I have to deal with that. It's an absolute loss. There's no grand exposition here. It's just fucking sad. Anyway, the next thing is my uncles who are like in the clonomat and dying from getting their G's taken out.
So it's going to be sand shrew.
It's a Gumshoes.
So rather than them being melted to death by their DNA being altered,
Yeah.
they actually evolved to the next step of man.
Oh, and they're gonna be like, if there's a sequel to this, they'll be the big bad evil guy for the sequel, who want to stop the city from forming around our love tree. I feel like there should be a sequel to this. I know you want to play it again.
Yeah. How about give me Goldine?
Train tracks, or you think it's Goldine?
That's got to be Goldine.
Sand shrew.
Ah.
All right, so these are the Y-shaped train tracks that form, right? You made the train tracks appear. I think they do appear, but I think what do you got? You got something?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So rather than him hitting the lever,
Yeah.
he ties down to the train track our other sexy friend that sometimes we do like experimental stuff with.
Like jazz.
Yeah.
Like acid jazz.
And he ties her to the train track and is like twirling his mustache.
All right. And so we have to like decide if we continue on this, we're gonna murder our friend.
Right.
And I think at the last second she turns to us and she's like,
Do it.
like, go for it. I don't want to live in a world without you two. And if I know that my death can get you to where you need to be, I will consider it a life well lived. And we fucking smoosh the fuck out of her. She is like toothpaste all over the tracks. She's gonzo, son. And that's when I stab my dad. Alright, so Onyx, Gumshoes, and Sandshrew out the picture is double or Goldine, my friend.
It's got to be double.
It's double! Alright, so I totally stabbed my dad.
That's what happened.
That's what happened. No getting around that. Dad, been stabbed. And now, it's the tree thing that we talked about earlier.
Goldine.
He's poring over his notes furiously.
Double we got. Gumshoes we got. Oh, it's a Goldine.
Hey, Lamau! Yeah, it's a Goldine. So, the whole thing we talked about earlier that happened?
Totally happened.
It fucking did, though.
But it's like
And
a big tree.
Yeah, it's a huge tree, and like, because it's an anime show, it's a cherry tree. And there's little like heart-shaped cherry blossom petals that are falling through all the end credits. While some like really sappy Japanese song plays about like true love being endless and pollution being of the heart and not of the air and all that kind of stuff, and about stabbing your dad when he pisses you off, and about how in the sequel my uncles will be there in some kind of fused horror form trying to cut down our love tree. But then, alright, this isn't part of the game. I'm gonna add this for the sequel.
Alright, we're gonna make the sequel.
So
We come back as tree people.
No. That's stupid and you should feel bad about it. So I think in the end of the show, right? So the credits roll, and the after credits sequence, like a Marvel movie, they show the tree bearing one piece of fruit. And it's like a big nut. And the nut falls down, and it opens up, and there's a baby inside. It's our baby. And it's destiny, because in his hand, what you see, it's a key to a Ford fucking Ranger. And then you see, like, our uncles watching the baby being born from this nut. And they're like, oh, I'm gonna get that baby, though. Because that key is the key to the truth. The end! I feel like we play the hell out of this game. It says play until there's a satisfying conclusion. The anime tale we've woven ended perfectly.
I mean, as far as anime goes, yeah.
I feel like I've won you over now. I feel like you're gonna, after we're done with this, you're gonna talk some shit on the mic. I get that. You have to keep up your appearances. When I go home to the loving embrace of my wife, you're probably gonna watch the Adolescence of Utena so you can get a better grasp of it.
No.
No?
No.
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 Hey, Star, you made a fun game. Thank you. Richard, despite himself, despite his protestations, had fun. All your taste is in your mouth. You got no sense of what is good in life. The best choice you made is having me as a best friend and your wife as a wife.
Yeah, she's okay.
And for the Pot of Blunders, I've been Nate Magnuski.
Unfortunately, I've been Richard Sullivan tonight.
Unfortunately for all of us. And may all your D's be 12s. If you want to support the Pot of Blunders, please consider heading to our Patreon page. Patreon.com/potofblunders, all one word. We've got membership levels ranging from $1 to $10 a month, which will get you access to things like our Discord, exclusive episodes of Jumping the Street Sharks, as well as a variety of other perks. You can also support the show and help us bring more attention to amazing indie authors by leaving a review on Apple Podcasts. We really appreciate any help you can give. We love hearing from you. You can always find us on Twitter at Pot of Blunders, and you can also reach us via email at potofblunders@gmail.com. Want more reviews, interviews, actual plays? Head to potofblunders.com and learn about even more amazing indie games. Thanks for listening. For the Pot of Blunders, I'm Nate Magnuski, and as always, may all your D's be 12s.